there's something inside of us, all of us, screaming to get out. I mean, it's just screaming to get out. It's just dying. It's just piled under a bunch of limiting beliefs and distractions. It's like, it's just piled under a bunch of bullshit. But if we can get that bullshit off of us, there's something inside of us that we, for whatever reason, just love to do. We're super excited to talk about goal setting today. Not just goal setting, but just having a vision and a direction for your life, and stop the whole just floating from one day to the next day with no sense of purpose, you know? And I'm excited to be back, you know? Have y'all been jamming this new Drake or not? I can't stop, man. Y'all know I'm a Drake fiend. I'm a fiend for Drake. That's all I listen to these days, honestly. Come sit on my lap. I was surprised Instagram let me use this song for my little vlog thing. Didn't catch no flack for it at all, so. Bro, Eli, dog, my dude. I was thinking about you, bro. I was getting compliments on my mask when I was traveling. And I was like, yeah, my dude hooking me up. And then I lost him. I'm sorry. What's up? Bright shine. Baby. Yo, today we're going to have a really valuable conversation. And I'm not going to take a lot of your time. That's one thing I started. You know, I got a chance to reflect a lot on my content and on just how I've been doing things up till now. And you know, it's tough because a lot of people don't tell you how you're doing. You know, a lot of people are not going to be like, yo, that sucked. and as a true artist, as a true creator, you know, you do kind of actually want that. You kind of want people to tell you the truth, you know? Like, it's difficult to do. You know, I listen to my friends' songs sometimes, and it's hard to look them in the face and be like, nah, I wasn't feeling that, you know? But you know, it's more valuable than just people blowing smoke up your ass and being like, yeah, man, you're doing great, when you're, you know, you can always improve, you know, and you're always looking for ways to improve. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to shit on people for no reason, right? You know, it's called constructive criticism. But I haven't got a lot of that, you know. I asked for it, gang, and I would love it, please. You know, I did get something the other day. My friend told me, I like this better, this whole 1 to 4 stories a day. They were saying how you know, it was overwhelming sometimes how I have 20, 30 stories a day and stuff. And I took that information, I really started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, you know, I gotta tighten up the way I do things. You know, I gotta really get to specific points and to, you know, just tighten up the way I do stuff. So that's exactly what I'm excited to do. And it's going to start with these lives. I'm not going to be running these for an hour anymore. They're probably going to be like, you know, 20 minutes tops. Just to a solid point, and then we move on. Because the thing about it is, I got every day. You know, it's like every day, just about every day, I'm coming with some point. And a lot of times, you know, we talk about them in different ways or approach it at different angles. So with that being said, guys, this is a conversation that I've had. I've had it multiple times, but you gotta stay tuned, okay? Because here's the thing about any of this stuff that I be talking about, right? It helps to constantly be reminded of the things. It helps to constantly have the information flowing through your subconscious, you know? Because the more you listen to it, the more you absorb information like this, the more it becomes a part of who you are. You see what I'm saying? And it becomes like your natural state and your natural thought process. So appreciate you, Nikki. I feel like this question was made for me. Ha, Maddie, yes. Yo, this question is made for you, girl, for real. Nikki in here too. This one's for her too. This is for a lot of people though. Yo, this is for a lot of people. A lot of times I speak about how we're feeling, you know, like our internal state and our mood. And that's important because a lot of people have a hard time regulating their moods these days, you know. We've got a lot of friends out here who are depressed or who are turning to drugs or alcohol to try to, you know, create internal states of well-being for themselves. We have a lot of just unhealthy ways of trying to regulate our moods and stuff. And so I talk about that a lot. But I come across this other side of things sometimes too. You know, there's a reason why I'm like Rodtheplanter, I love you so much, like good vibes and positivity. But then there's also grind gang, you know? And so many times I thought about, man, maybe I should change that grind gang branding. But it's important though, I think, you know, because life is part about feeling good, but it's also part about chasing a purpose. You know, when you look out here into the world, it's kind of like, anybody ever play the game Minecraft? I think Minecraft is an awesome analogy for the type of world we live in. We live in a creative world though. It's like Roblox, you know, like it's not a game with a set list of objectives, and it's like you got to do this, this, and this, and this to complete the mission. You know, something like Call of Duty might be like, you got to do this, then go here, get this guy, and then the game you succeeded this level. Life isn't like that out here, though. It's more like Minecraft, where you're just in the world. And it's like, you can do whatever you want. You can create whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can just do anything. But there inherently is no purpose. There is nothing you got to do. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to go anywhere. And so, why do we do it? Like, what's the point? Like, why even get out of bed? You know? or, you know, like, how do you know, just where do you get that sense of purpose and direction from, since it's not provided in life? And I think you need both of those things. You know, you need a purpose. You need a reason. Think about all these faculties you have. You have this amazing spirit, this amazing mind, this awesome body that can do all these different things in the world, right? You need to put that to work. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do any work. You do. I promise you do. If I put you on a beach right now, it sounds dope because you work at a job or something, or you do things right now that you're not satisfied with, and so you want to get away from that. But let's just take it to a perfect world where you didn't have to do any of those things and all your needs were taken care of and this and that, you can do anything you want. How long could you really just lay on that beach before you got fucking bored? You know, before you're like, yo, I want to do something else, you know? And then you can only party so much before that gets old too. And you can only travel to so many beaches, right? You go, well, I'll go to a different beach, or I'll go to this and I'll go to that. But you can only do those things for so long before it all just becomes the same thing. And you realize, like, man, there's got to be more to life than this, right? And so that is that purpose side of things. You can be happy all day long and feel good all day long, but without a goal or without progress or something to drive towards or something to give to the world, right? Without something to do out here, you're never going to really reach full fulfillment in life and satisfaction. You'll always be kind of, well, what am I supposed to do next if you don't have this? So I run into a lot of guys, and this is why I think Maddie comes into play, and Nikki, and a lot of you get some of my grind gang, where you feel great. You're doing amazing things as far as your vibrations go in the world, and you feel good from day to day. But I constantly ask, but where are you going? You know, like, what is it that you're working on right now? What's your grind? You know, and that's what today's conversation is about establishing a grind. You know, something that you enjoy doing, that you find satisfaction in seeing, you know, it come to fruition, and something you really want to get better at. You know, it's not about, I think so many times when we look for our talents in the world, we think of them as that. It's your talent. It's like, oh, I'll just be good at this. Like, you know, like I'll pick up a camera and the first pictures I take are going to be like award-winning Time magazine pictures, and that'll be my thing, you know? Or for me, my talent is speaking, right? But I tried to post some of my first speeches, or if you go see some of my first YouTube videos, I'm not good at it at all, you know? But I knew it was my talent because I loved it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's something I do naturally. Like, I love to talk. I was kind of joking about this in my stories today, where it's like, this is me. Whether like sometimes to a detriment. Like, it's not even fun for a lot of people. Some people be like, yo, I can't even fucking be chilling with that dude because he's always constantly poking at me like, hey, you should get better here, or maybe you should try this, or let's go hard here. And sometimes people are like, oh, I just want to relax, bro. And I'm like, no, come on, let's make progress, you know? So it's something that I am. It's something that I love to do. But it still requires craft. You know, you still have to learn to hone that craft and to develop that craft and to really get good at it. So I think that that's been a big disservice. A lot of us are having a hard time finding our purpose or our passion because we think that somehow inherently we'll just be naturally good at it and then that'll be our thing. But that's not necessarily the case. I'm seeing some people with some comments, Maddie saying, I want to paint more. And then Nikki talking about she wants to become a dope artist and hairstylist. I'm working with an apprentice right now and I want to inspire people and help them feel better. But that's amazing. See, okay, guys, these are amazing, amazing goals and grinds. You know, even something, actually, I love that you guys put these examples for me, and I'm going to use both of them, okay? And I want to talk to them a little about in different ways, okay? So I want to talk about how Nikki approached it and how Maddie approached it. I hope you guys, I'm not picking on you if it sounds like I am. This is going to help everybody learn and grow, okay? And so this is what I come across as I coach people and talk to people out in life and stuff and whatever. I ask them, you feel they're like, oh man, I'm happy to be here, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, cool, me too, we vibing, good vibes, woo, good vibes, and that's great. We want those good vibes. But now that you got them and you're feeling good, I say, well, what are you doing? Like, what are you up to? What are you gonna create? What are you gonna manifest? What are you going to do? What's your thing? And it usually goes something like this. Oh, well, I'm just trying to get through, taking it day by day. I'm just, I'm getting to the next level. And I'm like, oh, cool. So what's the next level? What is that for you? Life, man, I just want to have a good time out here. I just want to be great, and it's always these very esoteric, metaphorical, just non-specific, amorphous ideas of being better, right? Of life being somehow cooler or more interesting. And it usually is that. I want more, right? We as humans, we're like I said, progress is in our blood. It's in our nature. You make $1 million and tomorrow you're still going to be like, well, what's next? What else can I do more, right? So I always ask, it's tough. You really got to start getting to the specifics of things. And that's the first thing I want to give you. This is the first tip about this stuff, right? Is when you're setting goals for yourselves, guys, or when you're deciding what my grind is, it's cool to know the overarching idea. So my overarching idea is I want to be Rodtheplanter, right? Maddie wants to paint more. Some people say, well, I want to make more money, right? Or I want to have more free time. All these things that we think we want in the world, and that's fine. But you got to really ask yourself, the first thing I always say to myself and to others is, what does that mean, right? What does that mean? When you say, Maddie, I want to paint more, what does that mean, right? Does that mean you want to just paint more pictures for yourself so that you have more art on your own walls? Does that mean you want to paint more just because it's fun and it gives you a sense of gratitude? Like, is it a hobby type thing for you? Or is it like, I want to paint more so I can get good at painting so I can sustain my life off of my painting? Like, I can make money and live as an artist, Like, those three different ideas of painting more require completely different approaches, right? They're whole different types of manifestation processes. And so you got to get specific. That's step one, is you got to really ask yourself, well, what does it mean for me to get to the next level? Because it's not money for everybody, right? Like, we all understand this naturally, right? Like, money's not the point of life, right? I hope that we've all really gotten the gist of that. Like, you making more money, it's like, for what? What, then I can go on vacation, then fine. What you're looking for is more vacation, more love, more time to yourself, whatever. You're looking for something, but it's not money. You don't want to just accumulate a pile of money so that you can look at it and be like, oh, my money, look at all my money. Yeah, I got, how you doing today? Oh, I got money. It's like, it's not really like that. So you inherently are looking for a feeling or a product, right? You want to create something. Usually you want to create something. I think that and this, you might disagree. Some people like to work for something, which is fine. Like, my wife is a worker, right? So she's not much of a creator. She likes for people to just, hey, this is what we're going to do today, and these are the objectives. And then she likes to be able to take her ability to work really hard at things to get towards that, and that's fine too. but you got to know, right? You got to know, what does the next level mean for me? You know, my next level in your, like, let's take fitness, for example. My next level of fitness, me getting to the next level of fitness, completely different than you getting to the next level of your fitness, right? And I can confidently say that for most people on here. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, man, I want to run a marathon. You know, I want to do like these crazy extreme sports and stuff. You know, I'm trying to take it to that tip-top level. But your fitness goals might be, you know, I just want to get healthier, or I want to be able to, you know, walk around the block without getting tired, or play with my kids more and not have, you know, drained energy, or whatever the case may be. You know, I have diabetes and I need to get that shit under control, right? So you got to decide what's the next level for you. And that's what I said today. Like, it's Monday and we're all heavy on the grind. We're all getting out there and you're going to work today. For what? Why are you going to work? Why do you work at the place that you work? Right? Why do you do that and why are you not an author or a painter? And if you do want to be an author or a painter or a singer or whatever you want to be, you know, a content creator, then what are you going to do? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean for you to be a content creator? Right? So you using me as an example, and then we're going to move on to Nikki and Maddie like we were talking about again. I want to be Rodtheplanter, but that doesn't mean anything to you. And honestly, it doesn't mean anything to me. If I say, well, I want to be Rodtheplanter, well, you woke up, so you're Rodtheplanter. You know, like, that's not an actual goal. That's not something I can grind on. Because my brain, the universe, like, not even just me, my brain is this supercomputer, can't really compute Rodtheplanter because we haven't defined what that means. And the same for the universe. If you think of it in the sense of a law of attraction, they always say, you got to know what you want. You can't, if I say I want more money, well, then the universe says, well, here's $1. There, you're done. Get out of the way, right? It's like, what you really got to say to the universe, like, this is what I want to come about in my life specifically, right? This action. So for me right now, my goal, my vision, my direction is to become Rodtheplanter. I want to be a personal development coach. I want to be a speaker around the world. I want to talk to thousands of people around the world and try and change people's lives through, you know, these types of ideas, right? And so that's great. That's great. But can I do that in a week? Like, from Monday to Friday, will I be able to do all those things that I just described? You know, you as a musician, as an artist, you want to make your art, or you want to paint more. So you want to sell paintings all around the world and be able to live the life that you dream of and hope for as an artist. Are you going to be able to do that by Friday? You see, probably not, right? And so now it's like, the specifics of the matter, we have to get so specific that we can actually start taking actions. The law of attraction was a big dupe in the way of people thinking that they can just feel good towards their dreams, right? I hate that. I hate to bust this bubble for you guys. I hated to bust it for myself. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't, right? You can feel good, and that will give you massive amounts of energy. And then you can apply that energy to attract things into your life, right? So it's going to give you the drive. It's going to give you the motivation. It's going to give you the willingness. It's going to give you the faith. You know how hard it is to do all this stuff and not know if it's going to work or not? But the law of attraction takes all that away from you. You know it's going to work. You know that you can manifest things. You know that you can create your own reality. You just got to go out and do it now. But you still got to go out and do it, right? So it's a great belief to get you pumped. It's the feel-good state thing we were talking about, the law of attraction. And I love that. Like, every time I doubt myself, I remind myself, nope, the universe is infinite. Dude, there's infinite possibilities out here. You are just as great as anything or anybody else out here, and you can do it, right? You just got to come out here and do it. But you're still going to come out and do it. So you got to get specific enough to where you can say, what can I do today? Or what can I get at? It's called a grind. I call it grind, gang, because it's the daily grind. It's every day. Don't you wonder what I'm doing when the camera comes off? Like, don't you wonder, like, what my day be like when I'm not just talking to you? And it's filled of all these different little actions that I'm taking. Here, let me show you one. Look, here go furniture that's tore up. Let me bring up, I'm going to take y'all into my life for a little bit right here. Here's my laptop, and I'm working on rapid tags so I can tag my YouTubes properly. I'm looking for data from my computer so I can speed it up so I can edit quicker. I'm also editing a podcast right now. Here goes my list of to-do things. I got to cut RTP posts and tie-dye clips. I I got to fix my highlights on my Instagram. These are personal things I got to do for myself. I got to get new light bulbs for my setup here. I got to get my motorcycle started. My motorcycle doesn't run right now. And I got to like get my night guard. I've been grinding my teeth a lot at night. But you see what I'm saying? These are little tasks. And this is the grind. This is the grind, right? And it's not fun. It's like I posted today in my store. It's not fun. It's not glorious. There's no crowd screaming my name today. There's nobody being like, wow, you're great, Rod. You got your night guard taken care of. Whoa, right? And so that's why that's why you want that internal state. It's the thing that keeps you going through all the bullshit you got to do. But you got to have to do some bullshit, and you got to figure out what that bullshit that you got to do is. Because these are all little steps. They're little goals to your bigger goals. You see, everything I was just talking about with the RAM and the editing and the cutting the clips and the doing this live, all of these things add up to me being Rod the Planter, right? There is no such thing as me as Rod the Planter or this motivational speaker or this author if I don't write the book, if I don't speak, if I don't, create the content, then none of those things ever come to be. And so a lot of times we get stuck when we're in such a general task of I want to paint more. Well, your brain doesn't know what that means. And so you don't do anything. You just do the same thing. And it's like always a wish because it's not a goal. It's a wish. It's like, oh, I want to do this. I wish to do this, We see now, but we take it like somebody like Nikki, right? And Nikki was talking about how she wants to be a makeup artist and she wants to do hair and with a specific purpose of trying to make people feel better about themselves and who they are and whatnot. So that's great. That's a more specific goal of like, it's kind of like her. I want to be Rod the Planter. That's her Rod the Planter. She wants to be a hair and makeup artist. But I say today, well, what does that mean for this week though? Right? Like, now that you've gotten specific about what it is that you're truly trying to accomplish, right? And really get specific, guys, because you got to know, do you want to be a millionaire off your art? Or do you just want to make a couple pieces that you can take to the swap meet and sell on the weekends? Or give to your friends? Or is it just something you do for yourself because it's a relaxing activity? No right or wrong, right? We talked about this at the very beginning. There's no right or wrong to this answer. It could be anything you want it to be, but you got to decide. Because if it's just a hobby, well then paint more. Fine. I mean, you should want to paint. You should be painting more because then it's hobby and it's fun for you and you just do it for fun. But if it's like something you're trying to craft and build into your craft and your talent, well then now you got to really focus on the practicing of it. And practice takes like a daily application with a certain mindset to get better and to try and improve at it. So you take it not only now you got specific, you say, I want to be hair and makeup. I don't want to just, get more money or be cool or like it would be nice if I didn't have to work. None of those things are goals, right? But to become hair and makeup artist is a goal. But hair and makeup artist for what? For yourself? For Vogue magazine? You see how we can constantly get more specific, but the more specific you get, the more you can really narrow down something to do. If you want to be a hair and makeup artist for Vogue magazine, well, you're going to have to get good at the craft of hair and makeup, but then you know exactly what you need to do. Start hitting up editors of Vogue. Start trying to find people that who model for Vogue and are really in with them, and you can start maybe trying to give them free services or, there's a million ways to approach that situation, but now it's like a narrow target where you can say, boom, I'm going for this, right? And I'm going to talk about stick with me a little bit because there's a little caveat to this, okay? There's a little caveat to this going forward. And then I want to talk about as like a third point. But right now, just stick with me, okay? And so you got in specific as Vogue, and now that gives you a good action and a target to try and go after, okay? But then now you still need to take it to step 2. And step 2 is time, right? It's time. It's the time frame in which you're trying to operate. So when I say I want to be a public speaker, I want to be, I want to make $50,000 every time it's time for me to speak, because I need to make my money too. I want to live a life too, right? This is my craft. And so it's like, I need reciprocation and things that I want to do too, right? And so, but I can't just demand that. I have to get myself to a quality that demands that for me. And so I'm working on myself. We'll talk about that another thing about focus on what you're here to give, not necessarily what you're here to get. But nonetheless, that's what I hope to get, and I hope to be like right now on my computer, on the background of my computer is Amazon International Bestseller, right? And that's just like that's my my vision, right? This is my overarching dream. This is a lifelong dream of mine, right? I want to be an international best-selling author. And I just think how cool that would be for me and how much that will represent this full coming of Rodtheplanter. You got to think about that too. You know, if you want to be a makeup artist, it's like, what would represent being the top of that mountain for you, you know? Or just, you know, the best. But again, it's a vision. It's absolutely correct. A vision, right? And that's exactly what that is for me. It's something that just inspires me to be more myself. But again, it's Monday. It's August 15th, right? I'm not going to do that today. Today, when I woke up this morning, there was no, idea in my mind that today's the day I become international best-selling author. Why? I don't even have a fucking book. How do you become an international bestseller if you don't have a book? But notice, you see how I can start to retroactively build from there, right? Okay, well, if I want to be an international bestseller, I need to have a book, okay? All right, so now there's a good point. Now, okay, well, how do I get a book? Okay, well, you got to start writing, okay? Cool, so you got to start writing. How much do you got to write? Well, you know, you could start by starting writing, right? Like maybe you should and so I study a little bit about authors and stuff, and they're like, well, you got to write every day, you got to write at the same time, you got to treat it like your business. Fine, cool. So I need to establish a daily writing routine. And so that's my goal right now, is to establish a daily writing routine. Cool, right? Cool. So you can see how you can reverse engineer that. When I was talking earlier about, I want to be a makeup artist and hairstylist for Vogue. I want to be a multi-platinum selling recording artist. Okay, cool. So what does that mean? Well, I got to have a multi-platinum recording record worthy hit. Okay, cool. Well, you've never even made a song. So you're probably going to have to make some couple songs, get to the point where you make a couple hits, and then you got to have to progress. But you can work your way backwards from that overarching kind of amorphous idea, right? And you can get it to the specifics. But now you're going to need a time frame, right? It's like a time frame of like, what can I do today? What can I do this week that's going to push me closer to this becoming an author, becoming a hair and makeup person for Vogue, or, you know, a painter that sells their paintings and makes X amount of dollars a month from their paintings, right? What do you got to do today to make that happen? Okay, so you got to get specific, and then you got to think time here, because like I said, you're not going to knock out all your wildest dreams. If it's a lifelong dream, it should take you your entire life. And so you got to really break that down on a daily, weekly basis of what can I do today, right? You still work a full-time job. Fine. But what can you do today, right? Oh, well, you know, I can't do anything today because I have a busy schedule and yada, yada. Fine. But what can you do tomorrow? Or what can you do this week? But remember, we have to get to the point where we are doing. You got to grind. There just is no other way past this, guys. If you want to be a painter, the only way to become a painter and a good painter is to paint, right? You have to paint. You cannot talk about painting. You cannot study other painters. You're going to have to grind on your thing. I have to come on here and I have to do these lives, whether I'm good at it or bad at it, whether you guys like it, whether you watch it, whether it gets shared 1,000 times or nobody I got videos out the wazoo with 4 views. You know, it's not about that. It's not about that for me. I gotta grind. That's the only way I can get from point A to point B. It's the journey of 1,000 miles. So you gotta take the steps. If you don't take the steps, you're just never gonna get there. And so I see people all the time trying to, oh, I'm happy. Okay, cool, you're happy, but what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit around happy and broke for the rest of your life? Or are you just gonna sit around convincing yourself you're happy at a job you hate? You know, like, you can do that. I'm not saying you can't, but don't you want to come out and do the thing that you want to do? There's something inside of us, all of us, screaming to get out. I mean, it's just screaming to get out. It's just dying. It's just piled under a bunch of limiting beliefs and distractions. Right? It's just piled under a bunch of bullshit. But if we can get that bullshit off of us, there's something inside of us that we, for whatever reason, just love to do. You know, I don't know why. Why my best friends like to make music? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just their thing. It's just one of my Lost to Vegas. One of my best friends was a super talented soccer player. Could have gone fucking pro 10 times over as a soccer player and said fuck all that for music. Why? I don't know. That just be the way it is. You want to paint. I don't find joy in painting. Never have. I don't like it. I don't know why you like it, but you like it, right? It's like we all have something in us like that. You love parenting. Some of y'all out there be like, yo, I just live for my kid, man. If my kid could just be happy today, then I'm happy. I got 4 kids. It's a struggle every day to make each one of them happy. Then good, that's your grind, right? So every day you got to figure out, well, what do I do today that makes my kids happy? My kid just coming on to check because I'm supposed to take her to the pool. That's how I'm going to make her happy today. But you know what I mean? We all got a grind, right? And you got to break that down to what you can do. And you're always going to have to start taking that action. You really got to start working in that space, right? And so you got to get specific. The more specific you get, the more your brain can latch on to something and say, yep, there it is. Go for that, right? Like that's something you can do today. Because today I can't become an international bestseller. Today, sure, Maddie could paint more and Nikki can do makeup, right? But it's like, to what end, right? And where are you going to go? Like, how can I really take my goal from the top and back it to all these different steps to get to where I want? So right now, when I wake up every day, I have goals, and they're really tuned into the different things I want. I created a goals board that I've talked about multiple times. If you're sitting here on this live and you've listened to me talk this long and you do not have a goals board, you just fucking up, okay? It's like, don't even listen anymore. Get off of here and make a goals board. I can't, right? You gotta do it. I can't tell you, you can't sit here and watch me get my goals and think your goals are somehow getting got, right? Again, I don't know what your next level is. I don't know where you're trying to be or what you're trying to do or what you're trying to grow. That's on you. But you need to sit down and you need to figure it out. Now let's make some caveats here, okay? Because I'm gonna make some caveats and we're gonna get the hell out of here because there are some caveats. Let's start. What's the one thing that probably a lot of you are screaming in your head at me and I get probably 10,000 times a day? Well, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Nothing jumps out at me. Okay, fine. Guess what? 10 years ago, nothing was jumping out at me either, okay? Like, there's been a lot of Michael Jordan at 10, 11, 12, 13, I think, he was still playing baseball. So, I mean, I get that, right? But my question to you then, just like I ask a lot of these people, what are you doing to get to your goal today, right? I ask you, well, when are you going to figure it out? You don't know. Fine. When are you going to figure it out? Because you can't be waiting on me to tell you, because I don't know. You can't be waiting on your teacher to figure it out for you, because they don't know you. Your parents? You want to do what your parents do? I doubt it. Because I just told you, it's all different for all of us. Leave it up to Losty, they would have made him a soccer player, and that would have been it. And he would have been miserable. And I was just watching it the other day, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm glad you gave that shit up, honestly. It's cool. It's good that you're good at it and you like it, but it would have robbed us of so many other cool things that Losty is. Same for me. I tell Jessica all the time, I'm like, dude, thank God I'm not a 9-to-5 guy. Like, you think you want me to be a 9-to-5 guy because then you'd have more stable income and it'd make you, you'd have more security, and she would love to have more security, trust me. But I'm like, you don't like that guy though. That guy is like an alcoholic. That dude is like, 9-to-5 me is a drug addict and an alcoholic, 100%. Just because, I would have been dying to just try and escape that life always. So, you really gotta, I don't remember where I was going with that, but you gotta start figuring it out, right? You gotta start figuring it out. You can't just float from day to day expecting it to smack you in the face like a truck, or that the angels or somebody's gonna come down and be like, here is your purpose. It never happened like that for me. It didn't happen like that for anybody, but you gotta be willing to try things. You have to go in search of it. It's the same as anything else. If you don't know yet, then start trying to figure it out. What sounds interesting? What even remotely do you like to paint? Cool, then explore that. Paint to what end, right? Like, how much do you like painting? Figure it out. Paint every day. Be like, you know what? The more I paint, the more I realize this is just a personal hobby thing. I don't want to sell this. This is not for you guys. It's for me, right? Fine. Well, then go to the next thing. What is it? Look at your job. Maybe you love your job. Maybe your job is the shit. If you're sitting here listening to this and you're just like, I just want to go to work. I love my job. I love my boss. I love everything that we're doing and accomplishing. We're on a heavy mission to change the world, and I'm a secretary that helps this man, accomplish my dreams and whatever. Fine. Look for things that you care about. Everybody got complaints. Hear that? You might not have dreams, but you got complaints. Man, I sure wish people would clean up the ocean. Man, I sure wish people would take care of this. I wish more people would care about the animals. I wish more people would be better politicians. Maybe you should start there. Maybe it's you, since you think it, right? You know, listen, I love this so much time. Man, so-and-so, do it. Do it. People are out here starving. Then feed them. Right? I digress. Don't send me on a tangent, because I will go there. I'm like, look, if you got a fucking problem out here, fix the shit. Right? You see something's broken, fix the shit. You see something spilled out here, pick it up. You clean it up. Right? Don't come out here and tell me how I should clean it. Clean it up. Right? I saw there was a mental health problem. There was a crisis out here. Motherfuckers were in a crisis of finding happiness out here. I said, all right, I gotta do something. I'm gonna kick on my Instagram live and I'm gonna do what I can out here. Let me study up some books. Let me learn. Let me, spread my vibe. Let me just, whatever, do what I can. But I didn't come out here and ask y'all to be a motivational speaker or mental health professional or coach or any of that shit, right? So start there. Maybe you start there where you find gripes and complaints in the world, whatever. But you gotta get out here and you gotta start looking. Same thing with the goals. Goals don't just come and jump up and smack you in the face. It'll forever be, I want to paint more, right? It'll forever be that. Until you get and sit down and define that. Until we sit down and define anything that means. Dude, so long I sat around like, I'm gonna be Rodtheplanter. It took so long for me to define what that means, to decide what type of content a Rodtheplanter makes, to learn the skills to make that type of content. I still get the most anxiety from this idea of writing. I'm a kid who they told me my whole life I was ADHD. My whole life that, you'll never work right because you don't focus. So for somebody who can't focus, the idea of writing a novel is like, right? But that's why we call it a grind, right? That's why it's called a grind. I need to grind my way to figuring that shit out. And so daily, I'm working it out. This is the little tidbit I said I was going to give you guys earlier. Along the way, might I find out, this authoring shit is just not for me. This shit is just not for me. It's just giving me a lot of anxiety and stress. I don't see any benefit of it. I'm already helping tons of people in video form. Maybe I don't need to write the book. Maybe I can just focus on the videos, right? Maybe I think about it all the time. Dude, there was a time where I was going full on as a filmmaker. Who knows? Who's still waiting for the mod movie? Right? Raise your hand. Me too. I'm still working on it. Okay? But I went full in on that. Full in. I promised y'all movies. I promised myself movies. I gave up everything. I sold everything. I moved across the country to become a filmmaker. Not a speaker, a filmmaker. Am I making films? No, because sometimes you'll pivot, right? Sometimes you'll sit there and you'll really think that this is going to be the thing. You'll really find something that's interesting you. Painting, whatever. And you're going to get 2-3 years deep in it and realize, this really isn't for me. I really actually like this thing more. And so it's funny how I always knew I wanted to be a speaker, but I thought that wouldn't pay me. And so I was really trying to become a filmmaker because I thought that was the safer route. I teach y'all along the way about these limiting beliefs, boy, are deadly and they're deep. It takes a long time to figure them out and really knock them out the park, but you got to start doing the digging. You got to start doing the work. So, I'm getting there and I realized through this whole thing, I'm like, I really want to be over here, but I'm doing this because I'm afraid. Right? And so now I have to have enough courage to pivot from this. Not lock myself in and say, well, you already told everybody already depends on you and expects you to be a filmmaker and fuck y'all. I love you, but fuck everybody. You don't live this life. That's fine. You want the film so bad, go make it. That's fine, go make it. But I'm not going to sit here and live under the expectation of you being like, well, you said you was a filmmaker, so you better fucking film make or else. Sit down, Karen. This is my life, right? So I'll do what I want. And so I decide to pivot. You might be the same way. Now, was that a waste of my time? All the time I spent learning, crafting, building to become a filmmaker, did that set me back from being a Rodtheplanter? I see Reba coming in with the good tips. I appreciate you for real. No. I use that shit daily. Told you, I'm still editing podcasts. I still just made a little vlog thing. I use every single day. I use every single skill that I've ever built to be a filmmaker. Because the universe is funny like that. It's funny how sometimes you be going a certain way and you think that you're going to hit this grand end goal, but then you pivot, and that was just a part of the journey. When you look at a road going up a mountain or something, does it just straight through from one end to the next? No, it curves. It goes like this. Sometimes you be going all the way over this way, and you got to come back around this way, and you got to go back into that way, right? And then you got to do a little loop-de-loop. That's just how it is sometimes to get around different obstacles. So the universe was always pulling me towards my grand purpose and my grand design, and still today, it constantly pulls me towards it. But you never know where it's going to take you next, right? And what you'll learn next, and what you'll find out about yourself, what kind of limiting belief you'll knock down. A lot of times I moved into video because I was afraid of writing, right? And it's not until I got to now where I'm like, you don't need to be afraid of this. You can figure this out. You can, like I said, the universe is infinite. There's no limits out here to what you can or cannot be or do or cannot do. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're a retard. I don't care if you're short. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you born poor. I absolutely do not give a fuck what you think your excuse is. You have none, right? You can be whatever you want to be. So that's what I said too. If that's the truth, if that's the law of attraction, then how can I sit here and say, well, you'll never be a writer because you... Look, stop. Just figure this shit out, right? And so I grind, right? Fine. But all that keeps pulling me closer. Now I'm 4 years into this shit. 4 years into this. Grind, on my grind. And my grind is taking on many different forms, many different platforms, many different varieties and directions and yada, yada, yada. But dude, I'm standing here and I'm fucking living it. Like I look back, I'm like, damn, you're so much better. Look at that crap that you was doing back then. Look at what you're doing now. That's amazing. I could sell things right now. Honestly, I haven't done it, but I could. I could be making these speeches right now. I'm just not there yet, right? So, but I see the development. I see the growth, and you will too. But you got to start going in any direction at all. You got to pick a place. That's it. Is you're gonna move. Life's gonna change, and we all know this. All of our lives are changing constantly, so it's gonna change. But you're either getting change or you're getting progress. You want progress. You want to move towards the things that you want to be and get and do and have and see. You don't want to just move from place to place. Why are you moving over there? I got a new job. New job bringing me over here. Yeah, you didn't even pick that job. You just been doing that since you were 17 to pay your bills. Why are you going to go over there now to just pay your bills? Like, right? Like, kill that whole living to pay your bills shit. Right? That shit is crazy, right? You created the bills and you live every day to just continuously, you know what I mean? Like, that's a weird cycle going around that you didn't even ever pick. So pick it. Finally pick it for yourself. I had to do the same thing. I was going around in this army circle, and it was like, why are you in the army? Well, because I didn't have anything better to do when I was 17, right? Because you just got to go in a certain direction. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get in the army. We'll figure it out. But then after a while, I was like, what the fuck are you doing in the army, fool? Like, you don't like this. This isn't you. Like, everybody's like, oh, you're going to be a lifer. You're good at this shit. You're going to be the biggest. I was like, no, I don't think I am. I think I'm going to go do some other stuff. And they're like, what? But you're soldier of the year, and you're this and that. And this is just what I'm doing right now. I'm good at this, yes, because this is just what I happen to be doing. But I didn't pick this. This is not my, dream. And a lot of us find ourselves like that. A lot of us. And then we just keep doing it. It's like, pick something. Pivot when you need to. When you realize, okay, look, I've been doing it. You can't pivot before you've done. Okay, so I'm telling you that much. Until you've explored it, until you've exhausted it, you cannot pivot. So you can't say, oh, I think I want to be a photographer. Oh, no, you know what? Maybe I want to be a builder. Oh, maybe I want to be a painter. Maybe you should try one. Maybe you should just grab one and work on it for a while and see for yourself if that's actually something you love to do. Take 1,000 pictures. Trust me, it's not a waste of your time. It's a development regardless. If it works, doesn't work, whatever. You hate it, it's fine. Take 1,000 pictures, then say, yeah, I hated all that. I hated 750 of those pictures. I don't want to do something that I hate 75% of the time. Fine, then pivot, right? What did you like? What part of it do you want to be more of and less of? It's your life. It's your world out here. This is what I'm going to leave you with. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours to decide. People be like, well, I love teaching, but teaching doesn't pay enough money. Fine, then you be the teacher that makes a lot of money, right? Teach in the school, do that, and then also tutor online. Start your own online tutoring school that you make millions and millions of dollars from. There's a million ways to get it out here. Even now, more than ever. You got the internet, we got hella tools at our disposal. We have all types of different directions. You live in America, you know what I mean? Like, if you live in America, some of you don't, but if you live in America, then you definitely have all the tools at your disposal. There's really no questions asked about that. So explore it, make it exactly what you want. Nowadays, you don't even have to be a rapper. You like heavy metal, but you also like rap. Fine. Heavy metal rapper. Get at it. We'll eat that shit right up, right? It doesn't matter. But you need to start molding it and creating it, manifesting it, right? Pulling it towards yourself. And that all starts with first creating that picture in your mind. A picture in your mind of what does the best life look like to me. And so just recap, right? It's like, you got to get that goals board. That's what the goals board is for. It's not something that you just jot down 10 minutes real quick. Oh, Rod said I had to get some goals, so I want to make $10,000. I want to have a Ferrari. I want, why? Why Ferrari? Why not Lamborghini? Why not a Corvette? Why not an Aston Martin DB9? Why that car, right? Well, because everybody else thinks it's cool. All right, well, you probably shouldn't go that way because it's not for you, it's for everybody else, and that's whack, right? You say, oh, well, my goal is I want to paint more, or I want to be a better rapper. The fuck does that mean, better rapper? Blueface? Is Blueface a better rapper, or... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that means, So ask yourself, what does that mean? Why? Ask yourself questions. And answer the questions, right? Even though it's hard, it's definitely difficult, okay? I'm not sitting here saying this process is easy, but there is no other point to this world. There's no other point to life besides figuring out what you want to do with it, right? So the idea that watching Netflix is somehow a better use of your time than figuring out what you want to do with your life, I don't get that. It somehow, people be like, well, I got a job and things are busy. The idea that you got to go to work is somehow better than trying to figure out what you want to do with your life is ludicrous to me, right? You think about it. Does that make any sense? I'm so busy going to work that I don't know what I want to do with my life. So what the fuck are you working on? Like, why the fuck are you going to work then? What the hell is that, right? You have nothing better to do today. You have nothing better to do this week, this year, for the rest of your life than to figure out what you want and then to go after that with a fierceness, right? And like my homie just said, anything's possible. So what do you really want? And then go for that. You have nothing better to do. You have nothing better to do if it's something you truly want, right? And only you can decide that. So really think it out and really figure it out. So you got to come up with a plan. But when you come up with that plan, get specific. As specific as you possibly can. What color you want that Ferrari to be. Price it out, build it out, the spec sheet, the whole nine, and then boom, to the VIN number. Be like, yo, I want this car. Not a car, not a new car. That motherfucking car. I know I want a white Tesla. Not any white, I want it matte white with the matte black rims and the HID headlights and the Tesla doors flying up, you see what I'm saying? With the dope ass interior with the Rodtheplanter logo in the seat. Stop it, bro. Stop it. You see how lit I'm at? I've never even driven a Tesla. I'm already lit. I just know it, bro. It just, in my body. I'm just like, why? Somebody asked me why I want a Tesla. Because it's electric. You don't even have to kill the earth. And it's fast as fuck. And it's got instant torque. You don't get to go 250 miles most of the time, like speed. But you can go 0 to 60 a lot and like fast. So that's like true fast. You see what I'm saying? But I thought it out. I mean, I got specifications, okay? I'll tell you exactly. Ask me what my goal is right now. What's my goal, Rod? Write a book. I need to write this book. My life is being Rodtheplanter right now. The only thing I got to do to be Rodtheplanter right now is write this motherfucking book. It's got to write. It's got to be a manual of like how to help people learn about spirit, mind, and body and use it to apply in their life so that they can, reach their dreams and their goals, right? Flat out, so they can see progress and they can get better. That's it. You see what I'm saying? It's something my brain can just grab on day to day and be like, yep, that's it. This is what we got to do. What are you going to do today? I'm writing a book. People ask me, what's Monday? What's the grind, Rod? Writing a book. Now, obviously, that didn't come off today with everything I'm working on because I'm working on it, okay? Don't judge my grind, okay? I'm trying to get there. We're all trying to get there, okay? All right? So it's cool. You're going to work at it. But I'm going to get there. I'm going to write this book. I got a time frame. When do I need to write this book? Is it just in my lifetime I need to write a book. No, I need to write a book by my birthday. Like, I want this shit to come out around my birthday, on my birthday, not even around my birthday. I want this shit to come out on my birthday. Like, that's my gift to the world this year. It's like, I want to put the Grind Gang University out, and I want to put the book out, right? It's got a time frame. So that way I can't sit around all the time and just be like, yeah, one day I'm going to write a book. Well, what are you doing today? I got time. One day you're going to be dead. One day you're going to be dead. And there will be no more writing books. There will be no more painting. There will be no more loving my neighbor or being a better husband. There'll be none of that. You'll be dead. So one day is not, you don't want to wait till one day, because one day might not ever fucking come. You want to do that shit by next week, next month, next year, right? However long it takes. Whatever you think it's going to, I don't know how long it'll take. Well, what do you think? Give it your best guess. There's no right or wrong answer out here, right? There's no right or wrong answer to these questions. So it's like, how do I know it needs to come out by my birthday? I just feel it in my body. The spirit, right? It's part of spirit connection. It's like intuition. Call it whatever you want. If you think it's possible, then it's probably possible, because you're creating your reality. So if you think you're going to make the next Van Gogh, if you think you're going to become the Vogue editor by next year, then that's cool, right? I hope you're right. You better work your ass off, right? And maybe you're already the bomb and you're just waiting for the phone call. Fine, whatever, right? All things for you to decide. But decide, get specific. Oh man, Reba, I want to put on that too. Decide, get specific, set a time frame, right? Get to fucking work, and then be patient. Be patient. That Reba just gave me that one. I didn't come up with that one. She gave me that one. It's so true. Because there was a time where I thought that I would have all these goals done 2 years ago. My initial first goal was make $50 million by age 32. I'll never forget that. Make $50 million by age 32. I'm 32 today. Well, I'm 32 now this year. And we're not very close, if I'm just being honest. We haven't even made one yet, so we got a ways to go on that. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't regret going for it. I'll tell you that much. Over the last 4 years of me attempting that goal, I don't regret none of that. That's pushed me so much further down the road than sitting around just wishing and hoping that one day I'll be rich. Didn't even know what rich meant. I didn't even know any of that stuff. So you get more specific as time goes on and you figure it out, but be patient. Understand that you are not the creator, right? You attract, right? You manifest, but you're not the creator, right? Did you create reality? Like, did you literally create the world? Did you create the universe and everything? And did you create me? It's a tough question, right? It's deep. Think about that. But I came to the conclusion that, you know what? I just showed up here. And I didn't necessarily decide to come here. I didn't ask to come here. I just woke up one day and they were like, you're Sherrod Sloan. And I was like, oh, word? Okay, cool. What's that mean? Right? So the idea that I know about why I'm here and what I'm going to do, and I just definitively know exactly what time everything's going to happen and when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen for me. This person's going to be my wife and this person's going to, be the best thing. Because I feel people, I want to marry this person. You think you want to marry that person. You might want to marry somebody like that person. You might, it might be somebody completely different, but in the same ballpark. You might be trying to be a filmmaker and all of a sudden have to do a right turn and figure out you want to be a public speaker, whatever, right? But at least you're moving in the direction and you're manifesting towards that, right? And the universe kind of has a way of guiding you through that process as you go on. But point is, you're a co-creator and you got to be patient. You got to understand that it's not only up to you. It's also up to the grand design, whatever you call that. You call it God, or you call it the universe, or you call it random luck, whatever you call it, but you're still going to be sitting around waiting for luck to hit you, right? So it's like, work your ass off, keep trying to put yourself in the best position, keep knowing at least where you're trying to go, and then let it be what it's going to be as you get there. Just enjoy the process. That's why I keep telling everybody, enjoy the grind, right? It's a grind. It's road work, as I put in my stories earlier. It's not always fun. It's not glamorous always. Sometimes it is, though. Sometimes you're going to be doing some shit and you're like, damn, I'm so glad I worked all that. Like, I get opportunities constantly where they're like, hey, Rada, will you come out and, to New York for free and hang out with Tana Mojo and her entire crew and shoot a vlog for them? Yeah, sure. that didn't just come, you know what I mean? I wasn't just sitting at home being like, oh, manifesting all this clout and, opportunity. No, I was out here making vlogs and doing videos, and when they needed somebody, they were like, that dude makes videos. Hey, you want to do it? Yeah, sure. Right? And so that's great. Then that was a great day. And I'll talk about that some other time, about contraction versus expansion periods. But it's not all like that. They're not all shows. I'm not always on tour. I'm not always popping. And sometimes just you're at home and you're working out, and you're trying to paint furniture and you're trying to download RAM. You're trying to fix your computer. You're getting a night guard. It's like whatever, right? But they all have a purpose and a point to the grind. It all adds up over time. So work it, gang. Work it. I hope this was a valuable talk. I know that I completely bold-faced lied to y'all in the beginning. I said this will not be an hour. It is now 55 minutes into this. I can't help it. I told y'all I don't even know how to turn the shit off. I don't even know. I might even be like slightly autistic or something. Who even knows? You know what I mean? It is what it is. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I know I did. And there's really powerful stuff in here, guys. I'm really, really serious. I hope that when I talk to you guys again, and I talk to a lot of y'all in the DMs, and I'm going to start hitting you with it. I'm going to start, what are you doing? Where's your grind? Because, I want to see you progress. I want to see you actually make it to what it is that you're trying to be and trying to do. I want to see you guys getting better over the years. I don't want you to just watch me, and I don't care. People be like, oh, Rod, good job. I don't need any of that, right? I don't give a fuck. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm going to get it. You know I'm going to get it. We all know I'm going to get it. Fine. That's good. But what are you going to get? How are you going to? I can't even get it unless you get it, right? The only way I can be successful as Rodtheplanter is if everybody else that I talk to and interact with also becomes successful. And not successful to my standards, but to your own, right? I want you to be able to say, you know what? I was here, and then Rodtheplanter said something or did something or whatever. I heard whatever. He planted the seed, and I ran with that, and I turned myself into this. And thank you. And I'll be like, yes, okay. That's a win for me today, boys. So I'm going to start pushing that on you, right? Get to your grand goal, get to your best life ever, and start reverse engineering that down to what can you do today? What can you do this week, right? What's my grind? What does it mean to me? And why am I on it? And I'm telling you, man, you find so much juice for life. All of a sudden, you can't wait to get up. You can't wait to get up. You can't, like I said, I go on vacation, and I'm like, this vacation is slowing me down. It's like, I don't need a break. I don't need a time away. This is what I love to do. Told you can't even stop me. The more you get towards that, the more it's just, now not only do you feel good, you feel accomplished, you feel like life has purpose, like you're needed today, like you got something that you need to be doing, and you're not just falling into drugs and alcohol just to numb yourself from the boredom of floating through life. That's what I see a lot of people up to. So this is the way we combat that today. I love you so much, gang, and I will talk to you again so soon.